dirt, building my dome. Concrete walls, yeah, it's my home. Stockpile stacked with rations tight. Prep for the dark, we'll light the fight. Forage the woods, take what I need. Off-grid living, no time for greed. Barter goods in the shadow shade. Tactical steps in plans I've laid. Back to the bunker where the truth won't bend. Water and food where the road might end. Bug out bags by the door, stand tall, prepared for the fall. Yeah, prepared for it all. Generators hum, a comforting sound. Blackout nights when chaos surrounds. Seeds in jars, yeah, we're growing life. Homesteading strong in a time of strife. No high-tech wires, no web to roam. Resilience beats the world unknown. Hands in the soil, hearts in the fight. Staying ready every day, every night. Back to the bunker where the truth won't bend. Water and food where the road might end. Bug out bags by the door, stand tall, prepare for the fall. Yeah, prepare for it all. Back to the bunker where the truth won't bend. Water and food where the road might end. Bug out bags by the door, stand tall, prepare for the fall. Yeah, prepare for it all. Prepare for it all. When central power rules the game, when thoughts controlling freedom's name, when the governed lose to government might, tell me who's got the wrong kind.
Hello, everyone. Looks like everybody's here. Looks like the regular crew has showed up for the day. All right, so our afternoon live stream, kind of different, but unfortunately necessary. Looks like the chat is not totally populating, but it will get there. What do we got here? Oh, local prepper just popped up. That is not bad at all. The looks like my stream rate is actually only got a 3-second difference, which is super awesome. So knocking it out while it's still good. Rose first, Mike in the house. Number 2, Pilgrim. You are deterred. Followed by Andy Pearson, West Virginia Pappy. Who else we got in here? Bradley Collins is in the house. Alrighty is here. William Smith, good afternoon, class. Sal from Spain showed up, my friend. Good to see you. Loretta's here. Tucker's in the house, and Tim Huther has shown up. If you haven't checked in, make sure you do so. You say hi, I say hi. That's how conversations actually start and finish sometimes. Okay, with that said, guys, today's live stream is going to be short, straight, and to the point because I've got to head on over to the pharmacy to pick up more medication for the girlfriend who's laying on the couch right now, angry at me because I did a live stream instead of going directly to the pharmacy 5 seconds after it was called in. Oh well. Anywho, so if you guys are watching the morning stream, we talked about it a little bit. I'm going to change screens real quick here. We had changed it. We had talked about it very, very briefly. Hey, Ian, good to see you. And apparently it's not protest, it's rage. It's not rage. And then if you follow it over, it's the 50-51 movement. Oh, why are the colors exactly the same? Why is this exactly the same? Pretty interesting stuff, and they're supporting the rage against the regime, and it's like, yeah, find your place, get your training, do all sorts of stuff. That almost sounds like a rhyme. Find your training, get your training, do all sorts of stuff. The reality is that tomorrow we've got some rage against regime. It's like, okay, well, in America we have an administration. There's no regime. This is crazy talk, and you guys should all know that. If you agree with me, put a one in the chat. We're going to switch screens back to the main. And the reason we're going to do that is because, like I said, we're going to make sure that this is educational in nature and apolitical. There's a huge difference between a political gathering and a riot. Things can turn very crazy very quick. Sometimes it's planned, sometimes it's not. We've all seen the pictures of the pallets full of bricks that are dropped off 3 blocks from a protest, and how things are mostly safe. You know what I'm saying? Mostly calm, things like that. Now, staying safe, and I'm gonna have to turn that down. So I've got the mic on that one way too high. We're gonna turn that one down to that right there, and we're gonna back that up. There we go. Yeah, I've got a little thingy here where I keep an eye on the girlfriend. I know it almost feels weird, but I've got to do it because if she falls, there's a serious problem. Anywho, getting back on track. Getting back on track. Staying safe during these upcoming protests, with civil unrest becoming increasingly common, especially after major presidential elections. Preparing for potential riots is a prudent step. Now, tensions are high, whether we like it or not. And while peace is the hope, um, readiness for worst case scenarios is now become essential. Now staying safe involves strategic planning, blending into the environment, and ensuring resources are available to either stay put or evacuate if necessary. Now, preparation combines foresight, caution, and practical measures to navigate these, whether we like it or not, challenging times that just don't seem to ever want to go away. If you guys have something in the comments, make sure, or something you want to talk about that's related to this, do me a favor. I'd love your opinion. I'd love to hear what you have to say, but I'm going to continue to move forward. And so the first thing, and do me a favor, guys, if you haven't hit that thumbs up button, now would be a great time to do that. So first things first, avoid high risk areas. The first step in staying safe during civil unrest is avoiding areas where trouble is likely to erupt. It's really that simple. High risk locations include government buildings, busy urban centers, and sites of planned protests. They're like, really, I just showed you, they have their own web pages now. So be aware. The physical map is used to mark out these areas, provide a reliable reference if power or cell service fails. Local news and social media serves as early warning systems, offering real-time updates on crowd gatherings, like I just showed you. Beyond obvious hotspots, secondary areas like shopping centers or transit hubs are also considered. Um, as riots can spread rapidly into surrounding neighborhoods. Unfortunately, when the police move in, they can kind of like go in a direction nobody thought. But by steering clear of these zones during tense times, the risk of being caught in unrest is minimized. Also, I just realized, if you guys got something to comment on, put that in the chat. I just realized I had not provided you with your handy dandy question of the day, your poll question. I got to drop that poll question in there real quick. And I'm in top chat. Where's frickin' oops at? I'm in top chat. Dang it. Dang it, Willie. Start a poll. Question is copied and pasted. And let's get those answers in there. And one. Got to give you 4 of them. 4 choices. Otherwise, people are like, I really want to answer this, but you didn't really give me an option to do it. So we're going to pop that in there. I got 2 more clicks and we are done. And start that poll. All right, the poll is actually pretty simple. What's your top riot safety tip? Avoid hotspots, stay informed, blend in, stay unnoticed, stockpile essentials, fortify your home, plan evacuation, stay calm. So, and yeah, I'm sure somebody's going to be like, all of them, all of them. But you're looking at the chat here, Tim says, peace is the goal, but readiness is a must. 100%. West Virginia Pappy says, I'll be avoiding crowded areas. Yes, that would be smart. Rose says, not as stupid as when was younger when I could run. Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah, as you get slower, you get a little smarter. Tim says, if you want to be safe, come with me and the rednecks to the to the sprint car races. I know, right? That's absolutely true. West Virginia Pappy says, too many of the bad guys blend in. And Tuck says, there was a riot several miles from my place a few years ago. It is a priority for my prepping now, part of the top five, 100%. Know yourself, know your plan. Rose says, since you went to the new format, don't see indicator what chat you are in. Well, I can see when I'm in the studio, I can tell which mode I'm in. I've already moved over to the live chat. Vegan cookie good reuse. Why don't you just throw a hammer and sickle up, man? Loretta, I said, blend in, be unnoticed. The story of my life. Just saying. Okay, so with that said, we're going to go ahead and move on. And obviously, guys, I never tell people to jump straight to the poll. Number two, blend into the crowd. During riots, standing out can make someone a target. The gray man approach is adopted, involving neutral, unremarkable clothing like plain hoodie, jeans, or worn sneakers. Now, the goal is to appear as an ordinary person trying to get home. Like we're not all ordinary, right? Not someone drawing attention. Political symbols, flashy jewelry, or tactical gear are avoided, as they could signal affiliation or intent to engage. Just these days, just having a backpack on anywhere near one of these protests pretty much singles you out. By looking forgettable, the chances of being noticed by agitators or authorities are reduced, enhancing personal safety in chaotic situations. And Ian says, avoid hotspots. Yes, know where the stuff is going down. I'm going to stop and I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Oh, there we go. Okay, so with that said, number three, stockpiling essential supplies. Now, civil unrest can disrupt access to necessities such so make sure that you stockpile the essentials and make sure that it is maintained for at least 2 weeks. I mean, come on, right? You know, this includes non-perishable foods like canned goods, pasta, rice, beans. It's always rice and beans. It's like that is the staple that probably kept like everybody alive for 2,000 years. You know, but also as well as several 5-gallon water containers and a high quality water filter. Medical supplies, including bandages, antiseptics, and prescription medications, are kept well stocked. For power outages, batteries, flashlights, and solar power chargers are stored. You know, these preparations ensure self sufficiency during prolonged distributions or disruptions, making a home a safe haven if leaving becomes impossible. And let's see here. West Virginia Pappy says almost all young people wearing backpacks anymore. I know, right? But you know, a lot of young people that have any common sense, like they just went to town to have fun, or they're just on a grocery run for grandma or something like that, and maybe they have a backpack. They know to like stay away. But then there's the dumb ones who are like, "Hey, what's that over there? Let's go look at it." You know, and then boom, it's ridiculous. Let's see here. The United Houses of Polaris. What's going on, bros? If I don't recognize you, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Um, they control 96% of the media. Who know who the agitators are? Yeah, exactly, exactly. You know, I mean, we in this day and age, we really should not have to understand how riot dynamics work. There's always agitators and lieutenants. There's always somebody in charge who's ready to walk away and let everybody else to go to jail. It happens every single time. Very few riots are organic. So let's see. Rose says the rice and beans are good, but other products add to them. Oh yeah, most definitely. If you think you're going to survive on rice and beans, all you're going to do is die of diarrhea. Name the nose. That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense to me. But thank you for posting in there anyway. Okay, so number 4, securing the home. To stay safe during riots, the home is fortified discreetly to avoid drawing attention. Reinforced door locks and security film on windows make entry difficult without making the home look like a fortress. Heavy furniture is positioned near windows for quick barricading if needed. A low profile security camera system allows monitoring of the exterior without exposing oneself. The aim is to make the home an unappealing target, deterring potential troublemakers while maintaining a low profile in the neighborhood. Okay, what do we got going on here? Kevin says, Kevin, I don't recognize you either, man. Make sure you hit that frickin' subscribe button. My dry goods are rice, beans, dehydrated veggies, dried shiitake mushrooms. I like me some mushrooms. I don't have enough mushrooms in my house. That's for sure. Let's see here. House of Polaris says, laugh out loud. It relates to the 96%. Okay. Anyways, you're welcome. Okay, thank you very much, Kevin. Will do. Number 5, planning for evacuation. While staying put is preferred, an evacuation plan is prepared in case leaving becomes necessary. The bug out or the go bag. A go bag is it's packed with essentials, food, water, clothing, important documents, cash, first aid kit. There's a lot of things that go into a go bag, if you want to call it that. But multiple escape routes should be scouted, and obviously you want to prioritize roads and lesser known paths to avoid blocked or patrolled main roads. Your vehicle, it should be kept in good condition, with at least half a tank of gas to prevent being stranded. And this preparation ensures a swift and safe exit if the situation deteriorates. With my go bags, it's literally just I can just grab them. I actually keep one in the vehicle all the time. It just doesn't have a lot of stuff in it because it's summertime and I don't want it to turn to I don't want everything in it to melt into one, globulous ball of fog. You know what I'm saying? If we go and check the chat or the poll right now, we've got what's your top rated safety tip? 15 votes, 50% say avoid hotspots and stay informed. 31% say stockpile essential, fortify your home. 19% say blend in, stay unnoticed, and 0%. What is going on here? And 0% say plan evacuation, stay calm. Guys, I've got to go give the girlfriend a pill. So I'm going to push the break button. I'll be back in like 1 minute. Where's it at? I thought I had a break button. Maybe I don't. Maybe it's just there. Alrighty then. Sorry about that, guys. That was completely unscheduled, much like all of my live streams lately. All right, let's go ahead and go to the chat. Let's see. What do we got? Well, you guys put some stuff in there. That's great. That's great. Program says I'm late. Yeah, but you've been early to all of the other ones. And let's see. Mushrooms are great meat. Oh, dude, they're extremely high in protein. The problem is the girlfriend hates them, so there's just none of them in the house. But I love them. I love me like just some like button mushrooms just like fried in steak grease. So good. So good. Let's see here. West Virginia Pappy says 3.5 inch screws, strike plates, and hinges. Yes, fix your stuff. Fix your house. Make it strong. Strong like bull. Kevin says everyone needs potassium permanganate. Just bought another 500 grams. 500 grams. Wow, that's a lot. United House of Polaris says, depending on your location, evac could be necessary. Those in cities will need to escape. Yeah, exactly. Getting out of a city is. I made a video about that several years ago, back when I was on HBO. Anywho, Kevin says I have lab grade bentonite for numbing moons. Damn, you guys got a lot of stuff. That's some deep pepper stuff. Let's see. Tuck says my entire tri-country area is a potential hotspot. I can't wait to move. I believe it, man. Let's see. Free radio, radio free Polaris, 1488. Interesting, interesting. Send me an email. Send me an email, bro. Contact localprepper@gmail.com. All one word. Grumpy showed up. It doesn't take but a couple of seconds to click on that thumbs icon. Yes, correct. It's that thing right there. Click, 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 click. Or actually, from what I understand, if you're on your phone, you can like just like tap the screen and it does it. Pappy says clear contact paper over window glass helps with flying shards if broken out. Gotcha. Ian says during the summer of love, I was driving near a lot of those peaceful protests, stayed away from them like it was the plague, but got caught up in the secondary problems that made me nervous enough. Oh yeah, listen, man, if you're driving anywhere near these things and you have to slow down or come to a stop, the spidey senses just start banging. It's it's completely understandable. Let's see here. Where are we at? Rose says so far you're so far north you're going to go not much further south for you. And Tuck says they make polycarbonate storm shutter panels. I have one, intend to get a few more. They allow visibility when hunkered down for hurricanes. I like that idea. I like that idea. All right, so I'm gonna take a sip of coffee here. It looks like the poll is still running. We're gonna move on to number 6, maintaining communication. Now, communications is crucial during chaos. So, methods are established to stay connected if cell services fall. Walkie talkies with decent range and ham radio setups provide reliable alternatives. Family check in system with predetermined times and meeting points is set up to coordinate if separated. Now, these measures ensure access to information and loved ones, even in scenarios where technology is unreliable, maintaining calm and coordination during unrest. Guys, we just had NC Scout on here the other day. Communications are going to be key in pretty much every scenario you can think about. So it behooves you to know and understand and maybe get a little training, maybe get a little training. All right, so the next one we're going to talk about is prioritizing non-lethal self-defense. Some people automatically go straight to the pew-pews, but I want you to think about things. So, and self-defense is considered basically last resort, with a focus on de-escalation. Now, if it's not possible, it's not possible. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying if you live in Florida and you're surrounded by people and you don't feel safe for your body that you don't say hold down the right pedal and see what happens later. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying that any type of force should always be focused on de-escalation and it should always be the last ditch effort, but self-defense training is going to equip you with skills to handle physical threats without weapons. Non-lethal tools like pepper spray, those little pew pews I haven't done a video on yet. They're kind of the preferred ways of doing things. There's what they call the escalation of force, but they're going to offer you protection without escalating a conflict. Now, a legal firearm is kept as a final measure for home defense, but restraint is emphasized to avoid legal or safety complications. The goal is to avoid confrontation entirely using force only when absolutely necessary to protect your life. Very quick story. A friend of mine named Charlie, who lives down the road from me, or should I say, down the road from the property in North Carolina, had two nice gentlemen knock on his door, say that they needed his help because their car broke down. He opened his door. They attacked him. He drew his 45 ACP 1911 and popped two holes in the first guy. The second guy jumped on him and beat him down, but he still managed to put a hole in the other guy. They both ran away, leaving a bloody mess. One of them didn't make it. The other one made it to a hospital where he was promptly sewn up and arrested. If you can avoid situations like that, you probably should. Should he have not opened his door? No, he probably shouldn't have. But he's a nice soul and he thinks the best of people. But the reality is that that situation went very well for him because the police showed up. He told them the story. They looked around, everything lined up. No charges were sought. Unfortunately, in this day and age, if you're going to draw and use your sidearm, you better be right. That's all I'm going to say. You better be right. All right, let's see here. I'm going to. Everyone says FAFO. Oh, what's up, Cool Cool? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. I'm going to come back to the chat here in a second. Number 8. No, I'm going to give time for that story to build up in the chat. So number 8, building mental resilience. Now, physical preparations are only as effective as the mindset behind them. Mental rehearsal of scenarios such as riders approaching the home or needing to evacuate helps maintain calm under pressure. Situational awareness is practiced, including scanning for exits, potential threats, and safe routes while avoiding distraction. The mental preparedness, or should I say, this mental preparedness ensures better decision making and reduces panic, which can be critical in fast moving, unpredictable situations like riots. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna go to the chat here real quick here. Let me see. I gotta go. I gotta figure this out. You guys are like posting like madmen and stuff. Let's see. During the summer, Tuck V. They make polycarbonate. Kevin says, I have FRS, GMR radio, CB, and ham radio. Boom. Nice. Chuck says, Roach Dollar, indeed. I'm just outside of Fort Lauderdale. I'm looking at almost any part of Florida north of Lake Okeechobee, outside blue counties, and more than 10 miles from the beaches. Pilgrim says, comms are vital. It's not hard to take the test and get a ham operator's license, Kevin says. Gotcha. Let's see here. Tuck says, I already have a DGU at 12. I'd rather not have another. I don't know what a DGU is, Tuck. I don't know what a DGU is. Pilgrim says, I'm on 7 centimeter, 2 meter, 6 meter, 10 meter, and 11 meter. Ham/CB. Kevin says, stay off radar. I have homemade meshtastic. I have homemade meshtastic units that run 915 hertz. Yeah, I'm really up in the air about these whole meshtastics things. But I mean, they work, but isn't meshtastic um isn't it reliant on cell phones, or am I missing something here? Let's see. Grumpy Acre says the knife guy in Transverse City was lucky the 2A guy was level-headed. That's true. That's true. Where are we at here? Miracle Rose says, was the 2A guy in Transverse ever interviewed by national news? Saw good and everyone else. He probably wanted to stay away. By the way, guys, if you guys didn't know this, there was actually more than one Marine there. There was a second Marine. I put it in an X yesterday. There you'll see pictures of this guy pushing this cart. Actually slammed the cart right into the guy to create distance. And then he ended up actually throwing the cart at him at some point. But yeah, I don't think he made it through his SOI, or not School of Infantry, but at his B billet training, or God, that's not even right. His tech school training, for lack of terms. They keep changing the terms on me, but he did make it through recruit training. That's all that matters. Oh, let's see here. Where are we at here? Transfer City. Tuck says, I learned about situational awareness from a book in eighth grade. Well, that's good. That's good. Bamsing Moy, I haven't seen you in a while. What do you do if you find yourself in a situation like a deliverance, squeal like a pig? Well, you pray because, yeah, that's, I feel like the last time I saw you, I put you in timeout. That's what I feel like. Let me know in the chat. Pilgrim says, all my life lessons came from the real world experience. Let's see here. Tuck says defensive gun use. There you go. Um, Loretta, a lot of people, and there's almost no training on this whatsoever unless you go to like someone who's qualified to teach you like this. But there's absolutely no training. Well, I won't say there's absolutely no. There's very little training available for shooting at somebody who's a foot away from you. We just don't teach it. We just don't teach it. Um, let's see. Mestastic sounds good for what I understand about it. Mental health is important as food and water, being able to calm and clear in emergency situations. 100%, 100%. Let's see here. Too many walking around with nose buried in phone, no situation. Oh yeah, exactly. I catch myself doing it all the time. So, um, the guy with the cart was the first one I saw interviewed. Yeah, there you go. Ian says, with Mistastic, he used the cell phones as a computer to type with, or you could also use a tablet or computer and its place. I gotcha. Yeah, are mesh tastics dependent on cell towers? I guess that's the big question. Because if they're dependent on cell towers, they're a great plan B. You know what I'm saying? They could be a great plan B. Okay. Running your pace plan, it could be a very quick alternate as long as the people in your family group, organization, community, whatever, the important people are also using those mesh tastics. Otherwise, yeah, I'm not going to put any cash into that. But that's literally the thing. Are they dependent are they 100% dependent on cell towers? That's the big thing. I just don't know enough about them. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. Grumpy says, at Security Force School, they taught us point blank drawing and firing. It's definitely a skill you need to. Yeah, exactly, exactly. They just don't teach it anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Um, let's see. Program says you can get a dongle for your laptop to receive ham radio. That's true. To receive ham radio. Why not just buy a ham radio? Let's see here. Ian says Meshtastic is not dependent on cell phone towers. It uses a different bandwidth. Ah, that's interesting, Ian. That's good to know. That changes the game because my brain, I won't jump on anything unless I do like the research or I get somebody reputable and smart like you to tell me like hard questions. Answer the hard questions before I go wasting any time doing any research. Let's see here. Rose says, when you get older, you become more situationally aware. You can't text and use a cane or walker. That's that is hilarious. I'm gonna have somebody like record me like walking with a cane and texting in like a Walmart parking lot just so I can maintain the facade. Oh, that's hilarious, man. That's hilarious. Receive only, it's pointless in my opinion. Well, I mean, maybe you're just listening. Maybe you've just got like, like we did shortwave radios years ago. We just tuned until we heard what we wanted to hear, and then we just sat there and listened. So maybe it's that. you know. Fact, I need two hands for my walker. I gotcha. Off-road Armada showed up. What's going on, Brad? Let's see here. Is Meshtastic like Gotenna? Mesh network set up directly between devices. That's a great question. Ian, Ian, Ian. Okay, so let me give you some final thoughts on this riot thing, and then we'll go back to the chat, and then we'll roll from there. So um, the future's kind of uncertain, and while riots may not occur, being prepared it's a practical choice, and staying safe involves avoiding trouble, making smart decisions, and adapting to changing circumstances. By focusing on preparation, vigilance. Wow, that this guy potential spam, he's always calling me, man. I just don't want to talk to him. Basically preparation, vigilance, and discretion. You can navigate potential unrest with confidence, prioritizing personal and family safety above all else. And it should be that way. It really should be that way. So let's see here. Looking at the chat, I'll tell you what, I'm going to, while you guys are typing in whatever notes you're going to put, we got 27 votes. The question is, what's your top riot safety tip? 52% say avoid hotspots and stay informed. 33% say stockpile um, essentials and fortify your home. 15% say blend in and stay unnoticed. And 0% say plan evacuation, stay calm. Now, if you're looking at the chat and you're just using a little bit of logic, you take the top two things. You got to avoid hotspots and stay informed. So basically, if you're out and about. And the other one is to stockpile essentials and fortify your home, basically bug in. So basically, your idea is not to bug out because of riots, but to be bugged in and know how to get home. That's what I'm getting from that. That's what I'm getting. But I mean, God knows I'm wrong all the time. All right, let's see here. Tuck says, totally agree. And when I text, need both hands, one to hold the phone, the other to type. Yeah, that's crazy. Haven't you heard of voice to text, man? You just like, boop, 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 boop. Come on, man. Don't make the old guy make you look stupid with technology. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. Okay, so unfortunately, I've got to cut this live stream shorter than what I normally would have, but I did accomplish my goal of educating you with the education that I can educate you with. Figure out that one. That's a big mental loop right there with the word education. Tonight I should be on what is it? Prepping with Sarge's live stream at I think he starts at like 7:45, 8 o'clock Eastern. So I should be visible there. I don't know how long I'm going to stick around. That's kind of a pop-in type thing. I've got some family stuff going on tonight, so I'm not exactly sure of the schedule, but that's the plan. And then Saturday at 8 p.m., I will be having the UK Urban Prepper on this channel. And I'm working for another. I'm working some other angles, so you may see some more stuff. You may see some more preppers that you know or that you don't know that maybe they do have a YouTube channel, maybe they don't, maybe they're world renowned. I know some people. That's the plan for right now. That's the plan. And as usual, I'll make videos and shorts and all that other stuff to keep you entertained, informed, and educated. All right, guys, that's going to be about it for today, or until tonight anyway, right? Stay safe. Have a great day, and I shall see you when I see you. Bye bye.